Screen actors, this video is all about working with movie stars. Not something they're going to teach you in most acting classes, but something you've got to know because, well, the working habits and the presence and power of certain stars can blow you away if you're not prepared. I'm Louis DiBianco, and this is my channel, Screen Acting Success. This is where you come every Friday for more tips, techniques, and secrets to help you become a compelling, working screen actor in demand. If this is your first time here, click subscribe and give the video a thumbs up. Hey, stick around to the end because I'm going to give away free training that you are not going to want to miss. Working with movie stars. I'm not going to be talking about something from theory. This is from my direct experience working with 3 different famous actors. I learned a different lesson from each one. Working with Chazz Palminteri. He is an imposing figure. He's not only tall, he's the real deal. He's a street guy, and he plays tough guys in films. He is, of course, most famously known for A Bronx Tale, which he wrote as a one-man show. Robert De Niro fell in love with it, and Chazz turned it into a screenplay in which he played a pivotal leading role. In Toronto, a few years ago, we shot The Boss of Bosses, a true story about Paul Castellano, who was the acting mob boss in New York City until John Gotti had him murdered. And Chazz played Big Paul. I was playing a Miami mobster who broke Paul's rules by selling drugs, and they tried to kill me. They failed, and I blew it on them by turning state's evidence and going into witness protection. By the way, the New York casting director really didn't want to cast somebody in Toronto. I had to prove to him in the audition that I was the guy for it. I'm proud to say that I did. There was a pretty heavy-hitting cast there. People like Dayton Cali from Sons of Anarchy, Mark Margolis from Breaking Bad. And the atmosphere on that set was pretty intense. So this is what developed. Most of the Toronto actors, I guess they were feeling a little bit intimidated by the New York guys. And they started mumbling about them. These New York guys are standoffish. They don't approach us. They don't mingle and make small talk. And my attitude was, these guys are up here to do a job. Leave them alone. Don't expect them to do anything other than turn in their performances, and you turn in yours. So I was in some scenes that Chazz was in. And one day during a break, we were standing outside on a warm day, and Chazz was about 6 feet away from me. I was standing there, and I just decided to mind my own business. I wasn't going to suck up to him because he's a big star, start making kind of silly conversation. I just let the man have his space and relax. And he looks at me and he goes, "You, where you from?" I go over to him and I said, "Me? I'm from 241st and White Plains Road in the Bronx. Where you from?" He immediately started telling me he was from Fordham Road. We created a bond because we shared a lot of similar experiences from the Bronx streets. And he remembered me. About 4 months after the shoot was over, I got a call from my agent saying, "Chazz Palminteri's in town." His assistant called, and they would like you to go to the Sutton Place Hotel to do a reading of a script that Chazz has written. Wow. He remembered me. I was really honored. When I went to the Sutton Place, not only did he get me to read a role, he let me read the lead bad guy in the film because he respected my work enough and he wanted to hear that character come to life. What's the point of all this? The point of all this is to always treat stars as people, because that's what they are. Remember this, movie stars don't exist. A movie star is an image created by the media. And when you show up and on a set and you approach a movie star relating to their image, very often you're going to say and do silly things, and you're just not going to be somebody who's going to earn respect. And as far as earning respect goes, it's all about posture. When I was on that set, a boss of bosses, my posture was, hey, you guys may have big reps and bigger names than I do in the film business, but I'm a working professional as good as any of you. And I just stood my ground and I kind of exuded that energy. A guy like Chaz picks that up. It's intuitive. And he reached out to me. The posture is, do not be needy, do not chase, let people and things come to you. To this day, whenever I see Chaz in New York, I've seen him in shows, he remembers me, and he even invited me up to his dressing room when I went to see him in his one-man show of The Bronx Tale. And I'm not telling this to I'm not telling you this to impress you, but to impress upon you that your behavior, your posture, your mindset, and your attitude are every bit as important as your talent and skill. The second actor is Harvey Keitel. Harvey's always been an idol of mine. Ever since I saw him in Mean Streets with Robert De Niro, and he's a marvelous actor. He's also quirky, and I kind of knew that, but I wasn't sure what to expect when I got a role in a film called Crime Spree, and I was going to be doing a one-on-one scene with dialogue, just me and Harvey together. So on the day we meet, and again, I approach him as a professional. I don't start oohing and eyeing over the fact that he's Harvey Keitel. But I did say to him, do you want to rehearse the scene? And he said, no, it's okay. And I accepted that. And when we started shooting and the coverage was on Harvey, he began dropping his lines again and again. But he was calm. He wasn't nervous. And I realized that his style of working is to be spontaneous and fresh. He didn't want to know the lines too well because he wanted to discover them on the day. Now, mind you, he has star status, so he can get away with that. You and I'm going to assume that you are not yet a big star, should not show up on set not knowing our lines and expect them to start and stop the camera every time you drop your lines. They will do it for the star. But I wasn't thrown by the fact that he was dropping his lines. I found it very interesting because it gave us a chance to, on each take, do something slightly differently and really listen to each other, pay attention, and our reactions to each other were honest. I had fun, and he did too. And later his assistant came up to me to tell me that Harvey thinks you're terrific. Hey, once again, I'm honored. And again, that came out of my posture, but also being ready to work any way that my scene partner is going to work, especially if my scene partner is a star. You've got to be adjustable. Like I said, these are not lessons you're going to learn in acting class. And the third one was a Hollywood legend, Tony Curtis. some of you may not even be fully aware of who he is. Well, look him up, because, man, he has a resume of big, famous Hollywood movies. Sweet Smell of Success, and the film that he did with Marilyn Monroe and Jack Lemmon called Some Like It Hot, where he and Jack Lemmon were in drag. When I was a kid and my parents took me to the movie theaters, very often we'd see Tony Curtis on screen. He was very, very handsome. He was the image of the old-time movie star, strikingly good-looking guy. And he became famous trading on that image. So when we were doing another true story called Mafia Princess, and he was playing Sam Giancana, who was one of the most powerful mobsters ever in the United States of America, a mobster who had dealings with presidents like John F. Kennedy. He was playing Sam Giancana, and I did 3 auditions before they trusted me to be Tony Curtis's right-hand man, Sam Giancana's right-hand man. Now, I had a great time on that shoot. I was working closely with him every day that I was on set. To say that Tony is a difficult actor is an understatement. He was. He's gone now. Tony Curtis basically did everything for himself. And one of his bad habits was that he would change the lines if he felt like it, like that. So if you had certain lines and you were waiting for cues from him, you couldn't expect to get them, because he would pull the rug out from under your feet. And for many of the actors, it was tense. Here's the lesson, guys. Become really good at improvising. I knew that he was going to work like that, and I said to myself, bring it on, buddy. If you go someplace different in the scene, I'm going to go right along with you, because I'm comfortable with improvising. And sure enough, we were doing a big scene where we were in his room and other people were there, and a big brawl develops, and Tony starts inventing lines. And I just listen, and I fire back lines that were appropriate for the words he was saying. At the end of the scene, which went very well, he comes up to me and gives me a huge hug and says, "Wow, that was great, because we improvised together." I mean, he really felt like I was his blood brother. And of course, I felt honored. I also was thinking, you're selfish, man. I was able to handle it. What about the actors who couldn't? Hey, that's what you've got to be ready for. Because, especially in the film business, there are rules and ways of behaving, but those rules are meant to be broken. And usually, big stars are going to be the first ones to break them. So, learn what you're supposed to do, but then be flexible enough to adjust to anything that's thrown at you. If you do that, you'll be able to work with anybody and hold your own and win their respect. If you've gotten value from this, definitely leave a comment below and inspire other actors who are going to be watching this video. And if you haven't subscribed yet, do it now and give the video a thumbs up. I promised you some free training. On the screen, you're looking at the e-cover, or the cover to my ebook, which is a complete guide to self-taping. It's 21 pages. It covers everything from acting tips to how to light yourself properly, how to achieve the absolute most professional sound. I give you gear that I recommend, which is the best to work with. And I also give you a complete diagram of my studio setup that I use for my self-tapes, which you can duplicate in your settings at home. And you'll find the link below. Just click it, download the book, apply it, and really, really improve the quality of all of your self-tapes. You're also going to find a link below to my latest online course, Self-Taping Mastery, which takes a deeper dive into self-taping. It also gives you me in each module, holding you by the hand, taking you step by step through the process, and you have then the opportunity to reach out to me with any questions you have, which I will answer. Also, when you click the link to see what I'm offering with this course, you're going to notice that I'm giving away some really great bonuses. And one of them is an additional online course in live auditions. I think it's more than 6.5 hours of training that you will get absolutely free. That's a course that I charge $199 for. When you enroll today in Self-Taping Mastery, that live audition course is yours as a gift. I always like to end by this reminder about on-camera acting. The dialogue is important, but it's secondary to the inner life beneath the dialogue and in between the dialogue. So, whenever you have a script in your hands, especially for auditions, always feel it first. Then say it. And then you'll mean it. Feel it, say it, mean it, book it. Go out, create a stellar on-camera career for yourself. Let me know about it, because I will celebrate along with you and share it with the world.